Alice was an old widow who lived in a small farm village. She lived alone in her house, with her two sons who lived away, but came to visit her every weekend. They didn't visit her to spend time with her, but to party with their friends in her house. Alice's sons were not very kind to her and often left a mess in the house and backyard after their parties. They wouldn't clean up after themselves, and this often caused Alice distress. One day, after her sons had left, Alice noticed a young boy, Edan, cleaning up the trash from her yard. She was curious about why he was doing this and eventually called his mother, Christine, to ask. Christine told Alice that Edan was cleaning up the mess that her sons had left behind, and he did it because he didn't want the old widow to have to deal with it. Edan's father had left him and his mother when he was young, and Christine didn't want her son to end up like him. She had raised him to be a kind and gentle man, and this act of kindness towards Alice was a reflection of that upbringing. The story touched Alice's heart, and she was grateful for Edan's actions. She realized how much her own sons had neglected her and didn't have the same kind and gentle nature as Edan. From that day forward, Alice changed her will entirely. She had previously left her house and property to her sons in her will, but after realizing their true nature, she decided to leave everything to Edan. Alice passed away a few years later, but her legacy lived on through Edan. He continued to live in the farm village with his mother and took care of the property that Alice had left him. He became known as the kind and gentle young man who had once cleaned up the trash from the old widow's yard. The story of Alice and Edan spread through the village and beyond, inspiring others to show kindness and care to those around them. In conclusion, the story of the lonely old widow and the young boy who touched her heart shows the importance of kindness and the impact it can have on those around us. Edan's selfless act of cleaning up the trash from Alice's yard may have seemed small, but it had a big impact on her and her will. The story serves as a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can have a significant impact on someone's life. Grandma Alice lived in a small house on the edge of town, surrounded by a lush green yard. She was an elderly woman who had lived a long and fulfilling life, but in recent years she had fallen ill and was unable to leave her home due to the polluted air outside. Christine, her granddaughter, was the only one who visited her regularly, bringing her food and supplies and making sure she was comfortable. One day, a young boy named Edan came to visit Grandma Alice. He was curious about why she never came outside, so he asked Christine why she was always indoors. Christine didn't know much about her grandmother's condition, so she suggested that Edan ask Grandma Alice himself. When Edan arrived at Grandma Alice's house, he found her lying on the couch, struggling to breathe. He immediately noticed that she was having trouble walking and asked her why she was in such poor health. Grandma Alice told him that it was the pollution outside that made it hard for her to breathe and be active. Edan was a kind-hearted child who felt empathy for Grandma Alice. He wanted to help her in any way he could, so he took it upon himself to clean up the yard and make it a more suitable place for her to spend time outside. Grandma Alice was touched by his actions and thanked him for his kindness. Over time, Edan and Grandma Alice developed a close relationship. They would take walks in her yard every day, and eventually she was able to walk to Edan's house and spend time with his mother. The fresh air and exercise helped improve Grandma Alice's health, and she felt more alive than she had in years. One day, while they were walking, Edan asked Grandma Alice if the doctors had cured her. She smiled and told him that it was he who had cured her, with his kindness and love. Grandma Alice felt more love and care from Edan than she ever had from her own sons, and so she decided to leave her house to him in her will instead of her sons. When Grandma Alice passed away, her sons were shocked to find out that she had left her house to Edan. They accused Christine and Edan of manipulating their mother, but Edan refused to fight with them. Instead, he offered to give them the house and asked only for a small loan of $50 so he could spend a day with them. The two men, unsure of what Edan had planned, reluctantly gave him the money and agreed to spend the day with him. Edan took them on a walk in Grandma Alice's yard, just as he and Grandma Alice used to do, and showed them all the beautiful things she had loved about her home. By the end of the day, The two men had come to understand that Edan had brought their mother happiness and joy in her final years, and they were grateful for his kindness. In the end, Edan's selfless actions had brought happiness not only to Grandma Alice, but to her entire family. He had shown them the true meaning of love and kindness, and they would never forget his generosity. From that day on, Alice's sons changed their ways and started to lead more meaningful lives, with a new focus on helping others. They would frequently come to Edan and Christine's house and help with the farm work or share stories about Alice's life. It was like they had found a new purpose in life, and it all started with Edan's simple act of kindness. Edan and Christine also became closer to Alice's sons, and the bond between them grew stronger as they all remembered Alice's love and selflessness. They would often visit her grave, leaving fresh flowers and having quiet moments of reflection. Years went by, and the farm flourished under Edan's care. He had become a successful farmer, and the house was a warm and cozy home for Christine, Edan, and the occasional visitors. Despite his success, Edan never forgot the woman who changed his life forever, and he always made sure to keep Alice's memory alive by sharing stories of her with everyone who came to the farm. Alice's story touched the hearts of many people, especially Edan. He saw how love and kindness could bring people together, and how it could inspire change. Alice's simple act of love towards a young boy had a ripple effect that lasted for years, and it proved that love and selflessness are the greatest gifts we can give to the world.